Hello again, everybody. It's Scott Casper, Takedown Media. We continue our coverage of the NWCA's All-Star Classic. It's been announced Mike McMullen will challenge the NCAA heavyweight champ, Nick Gwizdowski of NC State. Nick joins us now. Nick, how are you?
Good. How are you, Scott?
I'm good, buddy. Congratulations on the invitation and accepting it. I guess we are to be congratulated because you are going to wrestle and we get to watch, dude. You guys have split so far. You've wrestled, what, twice? You've split it 1-1 each. But you come into this first event of the year with a bit of a head of steam on your shoulders, man. You won the NCAAs last year. First of all, congrats. What was that like, knowing that you were going to be invited and accepting?
It was a good. I went to it last year when I was at George Mason. It's a good event, and I look forward to that. Last year when I was there, I was like, man, I'd like to wrestle in this in the future. And then getting the invite this year is kind of a no-brainer to wrestle in it.
So I talked to a lot of the other wrestlers that have already accepted and have already been pre-promoted. And I asked this question, is it a bucket list event? And by that, I mean, is this something you want on your I did that list?
I think so. As like a early season test, I think it's important. And then, most importantly, going there and getting the win there, that's important also. So it's also cool something to say you've been part of. So
it's going to be a big celebration, of course, at the Palestra. Have you wrestled at the Palestra before?
No, I have not. I've never been to University of Pennsylvania.
And you know what the word Palestra means, right? House of Wrestling?
And now I do.
Yeah, how about that, man? I mean, that to me is just ultimately very cool. And the Wrestlers in Business Network, the Philadelphia edition, is proud to be producing this event along with the NWCA. It's going to be an outstanding one. There are a lot of folks there, a lot of music, and a great time to celebrate the beginning of the sport. It'll take place November 1st. Your opponent, as we mentioned, is a three-time All-American, Mike McMullen. You guys have shared the mat at least twice. McMullen of Northwestern. What are your thoughts about Mike McMullen, or is he just another heavyweight across the mat ready to take you on?
A little bit of both. I know he goes out there and he wrestles hard. Usually a lot of things happen. I wrestle him twice, so we both score. We both go out there and look to score points and create action. So he's a lot different than a lot of the other guys in the weight class, which a little bit. I don't mind the challenge. So it's a good matchup. It's good for the fans to watch too. It should be some good action.
Exactly, some good action. And talking with Mike McMullen last week in my interview, he described traditional heavyweight matchups as seeing two guys dancing bears, if you will. They get out there and they kind of push against each other. He said, this won't be two dancing bears.
No, he's right. We're both going to go out there, look to score points, and both pretty athletic and can scramble, so it should be an interesting one.
Now, Mike brings into this year, actually it'll make his third straight appearance in the event. He lost to two-time NCAA champ Tony Nelson at George Mason and fell to Missouri's Don Bradley by a point a year before at American University. You, on the other hand, this is your first time. Have you been talking to Coach Pop about this? And if so, what have you guys discussed?
Not much. We've been doing some things on the side just to prepare for it, but it's just a wrestling match too. I'm still going to step on the mat like I've done 80 other times in my career. So it's just a different crowd and probably a different singlet on, but for the most part, it's still a wrestling match to me.
You finished 8th at the 2012 NCAA Division I championships, but last year was a completely different year, and it appeared to me, and to many I'm sure, that you were a completely different wrestler some year and a half later. Can you talk to us about the changes you've made that have resulted in the positive results you've been able to score?
Yeah, I took a redshirt year after that year. A lot of growth. I got larger, I got stronger, I got faster. I kind of tightened up a lot of the things I do in my wrestling. I like to create a lot of action, but along with that, I had to tighten down my defense and my offensive attacks while still keeping, a high shot count. So that kind of stuff, and also on the mat, and working with Jamil Kelly those 2 years made a big difference to me. So
Jamil Kelly may be one of the keys, yeah?
Yeah, he was. He was
Okay.
a big key.
There's a lot of folks out there, including outside the NCAA, ranks that are noticing how quick the big guys are these days. You, McMullen, Nelson last year, others. There seems to be more speed, more great lateral movement, and maybe we're training our heavyweights differently today. But over the last 5 years, the evolution of the heavyweight class in and of itself has been phenomenal. Would you agree?
I think I have to. I remember as a younger kid watching like NCAA heavyweight wrestling. It was no offense to those guys, but it was a lot of different styles, a lot more of the big push and pulling and like one takedown matches. And now if you look, there's a lot more bonus points and takedowns and more action. So I think that's good for the sport as well. So people aren't like packing up and leaving after the 197 match.
Well, I can't imagine anyone's going to pack up and leave with you and McMullen. It'll be Gwiazdowski versus McMullen in the heavyweight bout. This may be, and it will depend on the voters, of course, but you may be the main event. And if that's the case, where will the main event fall? Will it fall at the end? Will it fall at the middle? We'll have to all wait and see. You know, with your contention in this event, Wolfpack wrestlers have competed on 8 different occasions, holding a 3-5 overall mark, but you become the 9th wrestler, I guess, to take to the mat for NC State, and the 5th heavyweight to take to the mat for NC State. The late Tab Thacker split bouts in 83 and 84. Sylvester Turkay was there during his career. He went 2-0. Notable win there over Rulon Gardner. That was held at Lehigh. I mean, it's amazing to me how many athletes from NC State have competed over the years. I mean, you're in pretty good company.
Yeah, for sure. Those are good names to be with.
Yeah. Huh? Yeah. NCAA champ at 285 means you are that guy. You are the man on top of the mountain. And obviously, targets painted on your back, but it's been no different for any other champ as they return to action. What are your thoughts on being that guy that everybody's looking to target?
It's just going to keep me motivated to be where I'm at. When you get bored and when you get lazy, that kind of stuff, you just got to remember that there's going to be 30 other one guys at going to be at the national tournament trying to take you out. So that, and along with just going out there and having to beat guys, because they're going to wrestle you completely different than they would in the past. So kind of those two things combined, just keep moving forward and not getting caught up with what they're doing, but stay on your game and stay what you're doing.
As the ACC champ last year, you finished 42-2 on the year, setting a brand new NC State record for the most wins in a season. Nice job out of you being an example for the team. I know that's probably not your ultimate goal, but it comes with the territory. Do you have a responsibility to be a positive example for the young guys coming into the room?
I think everyone that's been in the room has that role. Maybe me more than a few other guys, because I win matches. I win a lot of matches, but I don't change the way I do things too much, because I've gotten here doing what I've done. So I try to keep doing the same things. So occasionally I'll change some things, but other times I'll tell guys, like, hey, this is how things are done. If you want to get to somewhere, you got to change. When I came into college, I had to change the way I did things, and throughout the years, and now I've kind of have a sequence on how things are done to compete at my peak. So I try to stay close to that.
I know I mentioned that you went 42-2 on the year with that new record for NC State. You won your final 20 bouts. 11 of the final 15 were all against ranked wrestlers. Among the wrestlers of the NCAA championships, you led everybody in wins. Dude, that's phenomenal.
Yeah, that was pretty cool doing that, especially some of the guys that were in last year's tournament. So I think a lot of that came down to probably in Las Vegas, where I lost in the quarterfinals. I probably had 3-4 extra matches in the wrestleback. So
I think it was a phenomenal year, basically, Nick, and I can't wait to see you two guys tie it up. I know Mike Moyer, the executive director of the NWCA, is excited that He thinks he has two of the best big guys in the country. Well, let me tell you something. I know for a fact he's got two of the best big guys in the country. Fans, you can join us at the Palestra in Philadelphia, November 1st. Here's where you go: theallstarclassic.com. You can follow them on Facebook and Twitter. Twitter is hashtag NWCA Classic. It's easy enough to be a part of it. Buy tickets. Other announced matchups include Nishan Garrett of Cornell versus Joey Dance of Virginia Tech. A.J. Shop, a senior for Edinburgh, versus Mason Beckman, a junior at Lehigh. Those are the little guys now. James Green, a senior for Nebraska, and Ian Miller, a junior for Kent State. Gabe Dean from Cornell versus Jack Deckow from Old Dominion. And, of course, these two big guys, man, Nick Gwizdowski and Mike McMullen. I can't wait for it. You're going to want to be there for the weekend. It's easy enough to fly into Philly, and affordable rates abound. So make plans. Who's going to be going with you as far as coaching goes?
Right now, just Pat. I'd like to get Obi Bach out there now with us, but depends with the recruiting too. But hopefully Obi too.
Well,
maybe Frank Beasley. I don't know. I know Pat's going for sure.
What about family? Who's going to be joining you? As far as your family goes, are they going to be able to make it in from, is everybody still back in, what is it, Duanesburg?
Yeah, it's near Schenectady, Albany area. Yeah, my parents should be there, maybe my brother, maybe even a few friends if they want to get off the couch and come down. So it's only like 4 or 5 hours away.
Get off the couch. That's hard to do, man. I tell you what, once you're settling into the couch, it's hard to get up. I don't know this. It's just off the cuff. Do you follow a pro football team?
Not really. I got a few teams I like to follow. Not like, like consider myself a fan, but see how they do.
And who are they?
Do
you want to say, or would you rather not?
I don't know. Maybe the Bills because they're a New York team and a few different players, those kind of things. But there's a few teams I don't like to watch. But
who are the teams you don't want to watch?
Put me on the spot.
I mean, who makes you turn the channel? The Cowboys, the Broncos.
I'll watch the Broncos. The Cowboys usually I'll watch if they're getting beat up. In hopes they get beat up, that kind of stuff. Or like the Jets are usually pretty boring, so I don't like to watch them.
So you don't mind seeing America's team get beat up?
Yeah, I won't really consider that America's team.
Me neither. It's okay. It's okay. Once they get wrestling in Dallas, I'll be back. But I don't know. Nick, it's always good to talk to you. I'm looking forward to seeing you in Philadelphia on November 3rd, but the battle surely will kick off the season for us in a big way with the two of the finest heavyweights. Two great gentlemen, by the way, and two incredible wrestlers. It'll be Mike McMullen, the senior from Northwestern, taking on our guest today, a junior from NC State, Nick Gwizdowski. Nick, I'm looking forward to it. And I'll tell you what, I can't wait to see your A game when you bring it, dude. I just can't wait.
All right, I'll be there.
Thanks for joining us today. That's Nick. I'm Scott. You've been watching Takedown Wrestling. We appreciate it. This one for the NWCA on the All-Star Classic.